Old business.
We're going to talk some more about early childhood education. Dr. Salas is
I'm
going
not going to
give us a
update.
leave this area here.
Okay.
I just kind of wanted to, a few of the slides that we updated just based upon what we've done. You see at the bottom of this particular slide, Ava, Belton, and Melville. Probably talk about this again in our reflections of the MSBA conference last weekend. But those were the finalists this year for the Early Childhood Program of the Year, and been in contact. I have been with Ava and Belton. Belton won the entire award. Very good program, kind of similar to what we've talked about, but they've actually had a program in place since 1973 that they use separate from some of the other programming that we've talked about: peer model, early childhood special education, Title I, preschool, Missouri Preschool Project, all those things that have been a part of our discussion points. Ava, a real small school, 3,000 population in the community. All of them serve about 50% of their student population in kindergarten, which was kind of interesting. They all have waiting lists, and they all wish they could do more. But all of them also serve, they have a birth classroom even at Ava, but they serve 3 to 5-year-olds, so 3 and 4-year-olds are in the program. Of course, we haven't talked about going that scope yet. We're just talking about 4-year-olds. So that's happened recently. Okay. Nancy, go ahead.
Hey, could you go back one? Are all those, Dr. Zales, are all those listed across the bottom, schools that have preschools?
Yeah, those
Like
from
St.
the
James,
last
Newburgh.
presentation, yeah. That's
Okay.
from our South Central region.
I thought that was it, but I
Yeah.
wanted to clarify that.
No, that's good. We asked some of our South Central group that meets at the superintendent's meetings every month what they had that was outside of early childhood special education, and all those schools
Yeah.
do.
I thought that was right, thank you.
Again, just talking about program, that fourth bullet down, the peer model, Title I, other braided funding were common for all those things that we've talked about, or that we saw last weekend at the School Boards Association conference. All the programs are licensed and accredited, and all of them served as for collaborative PD models for the existing faith-based and private programs, which was something we've talked about before. All of them work collaboratively with Head Start. So those were common themes that we heard from the 3 finalists. Each of those 3 finalists gave a 20-minute presentation as part of the breakout sessions on Saturday last weekend. Okay. The survey as of this morning, actually, and I would, for anybody watching, we'll watch it again. We do have a soft closure to the survey that occurred at the end of September. It's still open. I wouldn't want anybody not to solicit or wouldn't contribute input to the process. Don't really think the numbers will move. Matter of fact, there have been just 28 more since I spoke to you last. The numbers percentage-wise haven't changed. We've broken out the types of respondents a little bit more so you can kind of see where that is. And the levels of the grade level representation at the bottom is similar to what it was before as well. So it appears to us that the second option, at least to me, and we can talk about that more, is the one that's gaining the most popularity. So give you a chance to kind of look at that before we move to the timeline. Anybody have any questions about the respondents or numbers?
Nope. Could we get a copy of that?
You bet. Sure. Go ahead, Nancy. So looking at the actual timeline, I moved the yellow arrow over ever so slightly because we're kind of at the tail end of that particular box. And so moving into November, December, let's begin with the November 13th board meeting and work back from that. We would like to have a survey approved by the board on November 13th, which is a single item survey to start to talk about the level of support for funding option 2 or a variation of option 2. So moving from 2 options, which was standalone facility, to 1, which was a more comprehensive look at improving the district and offering early childhood. looking at option 2, we'll develop questions for the selected option survey. So through consensus, we'll move on that second option and would ask that maybe somebody or more than one somebody from the board serve on that group to meet with Patron Insight and administration to kind of develop a draft of what we'd want that survey to make sure it acknowledges.
I'd like to be a part of that.
Okay.
I would too.
Okay, so
And I mean, more the merrier as far as I'm concerned.
as long as we don't have a quorum.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah. I
You
mean,
guys
Yeah.
go ahead and do it and just let us know when it is. And
Okay.
Yeah, and if something
So
happened to
everybody
one
will
of you
have a chance
guys,
to-
I'd be glad to come in your place. I'm sure you'd probably get any of us too, but, you know, if there'd be too much of a conflict.
There's a conflict.
So between now and the 13th, we'll do that and keep you apprised of how that's progressing. The 13th, then that survey document will be presented here to you and approved by you. Rick Nobles will come from Patron Insight. He and Ken DeSeagard are partners, and Ken's got a commitment that night. Ken will probably work with us on the questions. And then they'll start to collect data the 14th. That's the Friday right after that board meeting. Start that process and work to about the 1st of December. They'll take some time off during Thanksgiving, take some time off, and then come back with the final data analysis. It won't take long for them to collect it since it's a single issue discussion. And then we'll have to be moving toward that third box, which is the declaration or intent to place an issue on the April ballot, and start to refine how much that will be, what that ballot language might look like. So we've got a lot going on in that second box
Right.
that will tell us what level of support we have. We've been talking about this for, as you know, for almost 2 years, and we've had that survey out there for a while, so a big step to take. So there are obviously variations on that second theme that could be considered, but that's, in order to get us moving, the reconfiguration of the district is what we'll pursue.
Right.
I
Okay?
think that's the direction ahead. That's
Yeah.
what people are saying.
That's what they're saying.
Dr. Zales?
Yes.
You might mention for the people that are watching, the difference in the two surveys. This one is a phone survey that's statistically valid,
Right.
those type things.
Yeah, this survey is different than the online. They're actually the calls that are made like they were last. If you recall, we did one in the spring of 13, which was more of an attitudinal survey. How's the district doing? Their thoughts about teachers, and there were several things that are related to the strategic plan as well, ways we communicate, and we learned a lot from that. And there's a little bit of early childhood in that survey. This one is just it's the same methodology, registered voters in the community, what's their level of support. The questions will get at, their support at different intervals on funding this project, and that will help us determine the scope of what we do and what we don't do, and whether it becomes a lease purchase or a bond issue in addition to the levy. Now, would also say that the levy presentations, as I talked last time, are maximum amounts. We would hope to be able, and the reason why those are 3-year phase-ins, as you see on the website presentation, is that we may not need all of it. It depends upon what level of support we get. So it's coming together. And this will further refine that, but it is a different survey than what we've currently got out there.
And it's a random sample, and it includes cell phones.
It
Is that
does,
correct?
and it's equal distribution of people. If you remember, it's north and south of I-44, east and west of 63, equal distribution of registered voters, and the data is really objective in how it takes a look. It takes out what we think we know about the community, and really, and they're accurate. They've been accurate, very accurate. So if it comes back that there's very little support for that scenario, then we have some more discussion and more decisions to make. And if it comes back similar to what we've seen in our online survey, then I would envision us doing another community forum and continuing to solicit input from our community.
Very good.
It's not done. And if anybody watching wants to go online and take the survey, we'll still take the information. So that's my definition of a soft closure. Just, so the frequently asked questions, Nancy took copious notes from our community forum, and Jamie read some off that were submitted electronically. I would apologize to anybody that pulls that form up on the website. The microphone from the people that asked questions in the audience did not pick up the, we didn't have any sound for that. So, but we did answer the questions, and so what's being posted on our website, and I don't know how well you'll be able to see those questions. You have a copy of them, and Artie will get it. I think you probably have one too. We'll have those posted on the website, and that document will continue to grow as more questions are asked. We're just not going to pull it up. Okay.
I really am trying. They're up here on my computer.
That's okay. They'll be on the website. There's,
It's already about 16
yeah.
questions.
And it was literally everything from, it really does exist.
Throw the flag on the computer.
Okay. Well, I think everybody can read, so I'm not going to, if you want to, we'll have that again on our district website off the homepage, and we'll have copies we have copies of that in front of you now. And if there's, as you take a look at those, and we'll add to that as we move along. The other thing we're working on are talking points. I need to narrow down about 6 pages worth of talking points to just a few. So I'll probably send those out in raw form, and there they are. But so the questions are, I'm not going to read them. I don't know the best way to go about doing that unless you want to call
Well, you're
out.
going to post them, right? You're
Yeah,
gonna post them.
Right.
they'll be there. Again, we'll add to them, so. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought. Yeah, the talking points, we'll send those out, and the research and where those come from, the talking points come from, so we'll need to kind of synthesize those into some manageable points.
You know, I wonder if it'd be smart to have some copies of these at all the parent-teacher conferences.
Yeah. It's a good
You know,
idea.
Good
as
idea.
people, as all the adults come in all the buildings, I mean, not that every teacher would have to have some, but maybe at a centralized location where they could pick them up.
Yeah,
'Cause that would be a great way to get some information
Get some
to all the,
discussion going,
some
yeah,
good discussion
yeah.
going at the conferences.
It's a good idea. All the administrators have it. We sent it to them. I sent it to them today, so,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good idea. We can do that. Okay. Thanks, Nancy. Any questions about the frequently asked questions so far?
Questions about
Comments
the
later.
You got comments? Okay.
Typo. Missing word.
We can't wait.
Huh?
We can't wait to have them.
I don't need to use up time right
Well, being able to expand the capacity of the high school and get the freshmen over there, I think is a big plus of what was turned out to be the most popular scenario, because that's just been an ongoing issue that seems to get bigger as more and more students, freshman students, have been going to the high. What was it last year?
It's 144.
144 that were.
So about half of all of our.
Yeah, first, third, fifth, and seventh hour. Those aren't duplicate numbers, so we're transporting kids over there, and they're there now, so. Yeah, the second scenario I think is popular too in its concept because it touches several places in the district and allows us to offer the beginnings of early childhood.
Mm.
Certainly doesn't get us to where Ava Belton and Melville and Nixa and Branson and the rest of them are, but it gets
Let's
us
start
started.
somewhere.
Does
Yeah,
start
it does
somewhere.
get us started, and
And, you know, it's just gonna, I mean, the whole district's gonna grow and succeed because of some of the changes, hopefully, that we'll
Mhm.
continue making.
Very good.
All right. Thank you.